Yeah, these compositions are actually quite different in Vertigo. We're gonna find out.
Overwatch team. We
I
gotta
can't
see.
tell you.
So everyone at Virginia Tech, the Virginia Tech fans, clearly know that Tim is here. Not gonna be rooting for him by any means here. Looking for Stevens to take the W. Looking for the massive upset here, as it looks like we're headed to Lighthouse to get this one underway. We've got Virginia Tech over on the blue, Stevens on the red here, and they're not going to be breaking out the Pharah, but they do have a Junkrat. They do have a 76 to try to deal with Photon.
Yeah, these compositions are actually quite different. And Vertigo up to 40% pretty quickly. So he's going to be doing quite a lot of damage with that charge. Zarya, UNK, Unk is coming around this backside. Needs to be careful. Jumps away from the Winston. Winston goes for the face. Really aggressive. Lucia looking for the boot. Can he actually get it? I don't think he did. Vertigo's still alive. No kill over just yet. Stevens does not have control of the point, so it's going to be Virginia Tech maybe capping first.
Yeah, they're not even looking to deal with Unk, though. He's just on the side here, laying it into them for the most part. They don't really have much. I guess they do have much. They could bring the Diva, the Winston out finally. Looks like Cake going to look for something here, but it's pretty back and forth for the most part. Photon locked and loaded here for the barrage, but again, Unk trying to get the flank in here. We do see a Rift Tower out from Pufflegod. Can he find anything? Doesn't look like that's the case, as Virginia Tech clean this one up. Was a little scrappy, but they get the job done.
Virginia Tech is going to snowball off of this so heavily. Look at how many ultimates they have. 90% for 2 more coming up, and bodies really close to Dragon Blade. They also won the fight after they capped. The cap was pretty early on, which means that they've been gaining percentage all this time, Storm.
True indeed, and Photon looking for them to run out into the open, see if he can get rid of that Diva mech. That's going to pretty much be his signal to unleash the beast within. But no, it's the Dragon Blade out from Body. He finds a double, looking to get into the back, looking to get dirty and find some more kills here. But it doesn't even look like that's necessary at this point. They didn't need the barrage either, and Virginia Tech are really taking it to Stevens.
Yeah, the Hokies didn't even need to use anything else besides that Dragon Blade. This is going to be really tough for Stevens, because now that they're caught out, this is going to be more staggered spawns, more time that Virginia Tech is going to be able to build. And this Diva, D-Mech, not even going to be taken down, which means she's not going to be very useful while she is in her pilot form, eventually put out of her misery by Photon's rockets. And look at that. Body's up to 45% already. Virginia Tech still has 5 ultimates in the tank. I mean, Stevens is coming up to many of their ultimates as well, but Virginia Tech has all the advantage.
Not sure how I feel about this change from Pufflegod over to the Reaper of all things here. So we'll see if he's able to lay it into Cake and Game Chemist themselves, but they have a lot of ultimates ready to go. The barrage is used single-handedly on the Mercy, but that is certainly going to be worth it because he gets taken down. Wombo going to be in to save the day, 90% now and ticking. Is he able to find that Pharah, who is actually dangerously close to the ground, but Body cleans this one up. He's got another Dragon Blade trying to clean this up right here, right now. Take the W for the round. The sound barrier is out as Unk tries to get something with the tactical visor. He comes up empty-handed, and in the end, Stevens really dwindling here on the point.
Virginia Tech used all of their ultimates, and we see Stormrunner coming in using the Valkyrie, so he's going to have multiple resurrects for his team. However, Vertigo never even got the chance to use that Graviton Surge. The Body's still on the board here. Virginia Tech has more heroes on the spawn. Here comes the Vertigo. There's the Graviton Surge. It's actually a pretty big one, Joe.
Is the follow-up there. The Death Blossom Pufflegod, excuse me, actually finds 2 for himself. Make that 3. His Game Chemist gets taken out of the mech. And honestly, a lot of that was off of the back of Virginia Tech kind of ignoring the fact that there was a Mercy in the area. Regardless, they're still trying to pile on to this point, but Stevens seemingly have numbers. They're going to be able to make the flip here at 99%. Regardless, 99 is still up. You know, it's going to be a long road ahead of here for the side of Stevens.
Yeah, and that's not too bad either for the Hokies, since they're going to be close to so many DPS ultimates already. This was the replay of Vertigo's Graviton into the Death Blossom we saw, and ooh, Pufflegod takes a little bit of damage. There's no real answer, no great answer from Stevens onto the Fire Mercy, because only Soldier dealing with that is going to be difficult, and the Diva Matrix doesn't last as long. So Photon is still kind of has free reign here, and does a lot of damage on this far.
Dragon Blade out from Body, trying to clean it up right now. A sound barrier at the back of Unk and the rest of the squad, but it doesn't matter. Storm was taken out, and it looks like the Reaper gonna get pooped off the map. Virginia Tech shut down any hope from the side of Stevens. And at the swing of the Dragon Blade, to be quite honest there, a nice barrage as well from Photon, able to connect. Nobody's gonna be able to make it back, and Virginia Tech finding themselves with a fairly solid round number 1 victory.
VT's dual DPS threats really coming alive. You can see both of them are on fire. In-game icon as Virginia Tech gets that first round on Ilios. Now, Joe, we're about to see Widowmaker. There we go. This is Bruins. This is the map where you could play it. The question is, does anyone actually play the hero?
Yeah, I mean, Photon, I don't want to see him change off this Pharah or body off the Genji. I mean, they destroyed these guys with those heroes in particular. I think they're looking to see if Stevens goes over to that Widowmaker pick, at which point Body would just get into the back line. Game Chemist would as well on the D.Va. I don't really think they'd have much of an issue given what level of dominance they portrayed in that first round here. So with that in mind, we do see some interesting changes from the side of Stevens. They go with a Hanzo, they go with an Orisa, and they keep Pufflegod on this Reaper, who was actually able to find some decent kills and a nice ultimate to grab the point in the first round. But not sure how I feel about Orisa Hanzo.
Yeah, this is quite the comp here from Stevens.
It's the comfort picks. The comfort picks.
We'll see if
I mean,
it works.
but this early on, I mean, comfort, you lost one round. Maybe they have some strategy behind it that, you know, I just don't know about. We'll see if that's the case. But they're really struggling to get onto the point. And that's the thing with an Orisa. You know, you could throw down that barrier every 8 seconds, sure. But you're really struggling to actually make a move onto the point. You're not a dive composition with an Orisa by any means.
We'll see now. Orisa got on the point. Reaper as well. Reaper with those Hellfire shotguns will do massive damage into any tank, especially Winston. And there you go. That's the kill over. Mercy was taken down. That means that Wampo is going to be able to get his res off, and that means Stevens cannot. And the point is going to be captured by Virginia Tech.
It was a good move onto the point there from Invertigo. I actually liked it. I think the positioning of his barrier forced Cake to jump towards him, which allowed for the Reaper ultimately to be able to farm up his ultimate, find that kill, get up to 75%. But even with that in mind, I think Viz is at 36% on his ultimate. Unk is at 90. You want to see that link up a little bit more potentially, but he's probably going to throw out that Dragon Strike without him. Still, they're going to have to worry about this Barrage and Body coming up on a Dragon Blade as well, on Unsheath the Blade, but they don't even need it. They take down Stormrunner and Vertigo out of the picture as well, and they are just going to pummel them back into their base like they did in that first round.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a mismatch, to be honest. The compositions... Stevens' composition, even if it's complete comfort picks, is not really designed to deal with the threats that Virginia Tech has. Now, Body could go for the Dragon Blade, is not going to use it. Ellis McGruber is able to get the kill, but there comes the Resurrect. Ooh, actually baited the Mercy in and gets the kill with the Death Blossom. That could still work out for Stevens as they have their own Valkyrie available, but Body is just racking up the body count as he gets 2 kills. Here comes Stormrunner's Resurrect. We'll see if Stevens goes off of this.
Don't even think they're going to need the Dragon Blade here. Actually, 4 people in the area. He's going to unsheath it. I think, no, it's not going to happen. It looks like Invis, who made the change off of that Zarya. I think he went over to the D.Va, and then Vertigo made the change over to Zarya itself. So they don't have a D.Va, or excuse me, they don't have an Orisa anymore. They don't have much of an initiation strategy at that whatsoever. But Dragon Strike comes out. It's from downtown. Not quite going to find anything in its immediate path, but they still are on the point. See, Self-Destruct comes out there from Game Chemist as he gets the reset, but Pufflegod needs to be dealt with. Photon, again, there really is no counter to him in particular here. There's the defense matrix. As I say that, they're able to take him down. Exactly, that does work. Transcendence came through to save the day, and Stevens trying to fight back on the point. They're going to cap it at 90%.
It's not to say that there's no counter to the Pharah, it's just a smaller window of opportunity when you can shut her down. But the D.Va Matrix into the Zenyatta Transcendence as well was able to mitigate that damage, and Stevens is able to get the point here. That being said, though, 90% over to Tech. It's a big, big lead. They'll have a little bit of time to come back, but they still need to try and defend this for as long as they possibly can. It's going to be tough against Virginia Tech's multiple ultimates. However, Pufflegod's starting it off strong.
And Unk made the change to McCree to try to have a better way to deal here with Body and Photon in particular, I believe. But Body's still sitting on the Dragon Blade, and we've seen what he can do with it before. All it really takes is him opening it up with the kill, and he should be able to just unleash the beast from within there. They do get the D-Mech down to Invis. Here's a Dragon Blade, looking to finish off this round and win this game right here, right now. Finds one for himself, looking to get behind that Zarya shield, but he melts him down as he actually tries to attack the Zarya with the shield up. Gives her a lot of charge there, and she's able to find that kill for herself. Meanwhile, it's the Zen versus Zen battle on the side. The Winston gonna come through with the Primal Rage and actually disrupt that one-on-one battle, but still, Body is running around rampant right now, along with Cake. Transcendence is out here for Ellis. We'll see if he's able to keep his team nice and healthy for the most part, as they are at 64% and counting, trying to pull back.
This isn't actually that bad of a Transcendence because Stevens had multiple heroes on the point. Their spawns are going to be coming, and Game Chemist is able to get the kill though, and I think actually no one's at the point right now, so Stevens still, while this fight is raging on, they're still generating advantage here. Puffle God trying to get out of that situation as he's bounced down to 50 HP, gets the Mercy, but Genji's trying to go for the kill. Body is pretty close to another Dragon Blade again. 2 kills over to the red team. Here comes the barrage from Photon. He's going to be taken down by Invertigo though.
That was a big play. Unk as well trying to chime in on that for himself. Body has a Dragon Blade coming up here, but they do hit 95%. Dragon Blade's out, looking to get behind that Zarya shield, but he feeds him up so much. Oh man, the Graviton Surge is out from Invertigo. He nearly reflected that one, but not quite going to be the case here as Stevens battling their way back here onto Ilios. The Winston jumps onto the point, but we're in overtime right now. The Resurrect comes out, Death Blossom comes through from the side of Puffle God. He finds the Mercy, most importantly, and there's the Zarya going off as Stevens taking round number 2 here and making it a game.
Puffle God has been doing a great job of tracking the enemy Mercy, and on this Reaper, whenever she flies in, just using Death Blossom. I love it because Death Blossom, a tiny radius, but massive amounts of damage. It can be hard when Mercy is going in for the Resurrect to actually nail her down. If you're just doing damage everywhere, you're going to prevent that Resurrect and get the kill, like we've seen again and again from this Reaper player for Stevens. So, able to tie up Ilios. It's a best of 3 series overall. This best of 3 on the control map is tied. Last map on Ilios will be well, and we will see a Roadhog from Virginia Tech.
Well, Puffle God is definitely going to be happy about that. They don't have a Winston anymore. They have the Reinhardt, which should be able to eat up some of that damage coming out from Puffle God, but no Diva as well. So Unk might not really have to worry too much about having to deal with Body and Photon in particular. He's just going to have to be very careful of having to deal with that Roadhog, of course, but Invis trying to disperse them, trying to spread him out here, wants to make sure he doesn't get hooked into the well itself. That's kind of the name of the game here for Roadhog.
Yeah, that's why you'll see Roadhog played here quite often, is the threat of those hook kills into the pit of death. It's pretty cheeky and quick way to get a big kill. Stevens mech taken low, or Invis, I should say, Stevens Diva player. First frag over, Puffle God onto Wampa means the Mercy's gone for Virginia Tech. That's really good for Stevens.
Certainly is, but Zarya's way out of position here, as it doesn't look like Stormrunner is going to be able to bring 2 up into this fight. Even so, they are battling back. Body ready to go with that ultimate if he can keep himself healed. Of course, they don't have Wombo in this fight. He's now just coming back, so they don't have that necessary healing that they would like to be able to take this fight. But still, Game Chemist trying to turn this around, but Stevens securing the first objective points here and looking a little scrappy in doing so. But Virginia Tech, of course, not looking any better by any means as Puffle God
another
gets hooked off.
We've barely seen any hooks land from Game Chemist. The one with the Diva wasn't super significant. Photon getting frag, but it's going to be answered in kind. Now here comes the damage. Game Chemist is able to win that duel, so that's going to be really important. Photon is able to knock himself away from the Matrix, so Stevens is going to be a man down if I'm not mistaken, but they have the ultimate advantage and, of course, so much point control. But
the Transcendence is out there from Ellis McGruber here. Gonna look to keep him alive, but there's a barrage in the back. Photon able to find 2 for himself up top, off of a nice Earthshatter as well. Cake able to set that one up and make sure Photon wasn't going to be dealt with by that McCree in particular. So they do push their way back into this fight here. They don't want to get down too early, or too early on here, and get to see that once again. That was great Earthshatter. So that barrage, it's actually really good. 41%, not a bad start from Stevens by any means. So.
Yeah, and so many ultimates were used by Virginia Tech too. 4. That's a really big amount, especially when you consider the fact that Stevens don't even need to use all of their ultimates if they get a proper Graviton coming up in a moment, or they play really aggressively with the Valkyrie. We're just taking some time. The issue with their composition, especially without a speed boost from Alusha, is that it's harder to get into position, so they need to buy their time and really figure out when to strike. They're probably just waiting for Invertigo to charge up that grab before going in.
Puffle almost getting taken down. Graviton searches out. Here's the Death Blossom. Oh no, he gets pushed back. A great whole hog comes out from Game Chemist. We also saw the sound barrier up top. It's Photon coming through big for Virginia Tech. They don't need to use that Dragon Blade either, but Puffle God is looking to make a little bit. This is a really risky flank from him. He's just going to delay his team being able to get regrouped if he gets picked off, but he felt confident with that Wraith form to get away from this Game Chemist. Missing the hook, but he is in a bad spot right now, and that is the risk you run of trying for an oddball flank. Now this is going to be Virginia Tech forcing it to one final fight to see if they can take this map.
Yeah, the start of that fight there looked in favor of Stevens because they had more ultimates, but the defense was amazing to knock back the Reaper. The Graviton Surge was into the wall, so they couldn't get that much direct damage, and now Stevens don't have the point. They're one fight away from losing this map, and they're going to go in with a Somber comp as well. The flashbang from UNK, not going to get the frags. Doesn't actually get the headshots from the stunned Reinhardt. That could be big.
Still, they're looking for that EMP to come out from Invertigo. He needs to get it ASAP. Otherwise, that pick onto Sombra means absolutely nothing. Dragonblade is out from body. He finds one, looking for Widowmaker here in the back. Zenyatta gonna catch some of that crossfire as well from the Dragonblade with the Genji. And Overtime gonna take down in just a moment. They have one contesting. Sombra gonna be taken down, not quite able to get the EMP out. And Virginia Tech, despite being tested in that second round and later in that third round as well, they come back, they take map number 1.
Yeah, overall, it was the kind of series, or the kind of map that is close, but still in favor of one team for sure. And that was absolutely Virginia Tech. They had overall higher play DPS ultimates that they used. Their defense to try and counteract the ultimates that Stevens threw at them was really impressive. And if you're Stevens now or a Stevens fan, you want to go to a map that honestly it plays to an objective style, because in the 6v6 team fights, it definitely looked like Virginia Tech had the advantage.
Well, we do have some replays from that last map, and let's take a look at what went down there on Ilios in particular. But you mentioned a map catering to their style. We saw Sombra at the end wasn't really able to get any value from it because they didn't have enough time to charge up the EMP. They did eventually get to the EMP, wasn't able to drop it in the end. So that kind of makes me think, do they have a Sombra player? Do they want to head to an assault map? Do they want to head to something like Temple of Anubis in particular? That's what I'm looking for.
I think they want to go somewhere where they can make plays off the Reaper. Because Puffle God was showing up pretty significantly, and off of the Zarya play as well. The combination between the Zarya and the Reaper they had, yes, it was blocked at the end there, but overall, it was one of Stevens' strongest points. If they're able to go to a map that plays into that advantage and ideally goes away from Pharah and Genji maps, because those are two of Virginia Tech's carry's favorite heroes, then they could find a potential comeback in this series.
I agree with that, but Stevens as well, it felt like they have a lot of tools that they don't know necessarily when to pull them out, where to put them in particular. They showed the Widowmaker, they showed the Sombra, the Reaper came out at kind of an odd time early on in that match on Ilios. It was just kind of out of nowhere, and it ended up working out for them in the end. Didn't win the map, but it did, like you said, it was able to make some waves there. So I'm curious to see how they really want to puzzle this together, or piece it together, I guess you could say, moving on to the second map, which of course is their choice.
Yeah, it's their choice. They're not able to go back to a control map though, so either assault or a payload hybrid. The next map is going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar. So the first time we've seen it this season, a very long pure payload map.
I'm looking forward to it. Get a little bit of a switch up here. Watchpoint Gibraltar instead of this Dorado map that we see time and time again, which, Dorado is one of my favorite payload maps for sure, but Gibraltar, like you said, it's a longer map. I'm curious to see what they bring to the table here. In particular, Stevens, and how they can utilize a Reaper. I feel like Reaper can do decently well. It depends how you actually play.
I wouldn't say first point though. This second point, shuttle phase right here, is where Reaper can be super effective because it's such a, generally speaking, close range.
If they have something to contest that high ground. Sure.
Right, that's the thing. If it's a neutral, if it's like in the neutral game where the two teams have set up, then the offensive team is going to have a bit of a rougher time because that is at range. However, close quarters combat is pretty common in the shuttle phase. Not so common on the first half of the first part of the map, as you can see behind me. And then honestly, when you get to that third checkpoint as well, Reaper's not particularly effective there either. So Reaper was one of the keys to Stevens' initial success that we saw. Their fights that they did win in that last map, even though they weren't able to take the entire map. I'm curious to see if they either decide to stick to that or go to a different hero, because Gibraltar was their counter pick.
Well, Virginia Tech as well. Who knows if they want to go back to that Far Mercy setup themselves. They may have something else locked and loaded as, of course, changing it up to a payload map as opposed to a control point. Again, it's always a change of pace for both these teams here. So excited to see if Stevens can take this to a game number 3. I mean, they are the underdogs. The average SR is about 600 less than that of what we see from Virginia Tech, who will be on the defense to get things started. And as I said it, Photon back on that Farah pick, and Vertigo on the offensive Sombra, something I had brought up. I was interested to see if they could find a way to utilize this throughout the rest of this series.
Yeah, you saw him swap to it on Ilios, and he's starting to get off on offense again, so you're not able to get those initial health packs hacked, like we sometimes see from defensive. And oh my goodness, the direct rocket from Photon onto a jumping Sombra just stifles Steven's offense instantly. Their Mercy is down as well, 64. Virginia Tech easily gonna hold this.
And that's not what you want to see if from your Sombra. He actually makes the change over to the 76 here. And the thing about a Sombra is, especially if you're running on offense, you have to get off to a strong start. Otherwise, you're wasting so much time because you can't even get those hacked health packs. You can't really, reap the rewards or I guess reap the health itself of hacking them. So getting picked off so early there, not the best start there for Vertigo, who again gets picked off on the side. A nice pickup from Jaylet. And Vertigo not getting off to a hot start. Already a minute off the clock, and Photon has been tearing them up in the skies. A barrage already coming down from this guy. Finds two as Body able to connect there with the Helix onto Ellis McGruber. And they are just going to charge forward. They are just, this is a bloody match for the side of Virginia Tech tearing it up.
Yeah, this is such a bad position for the payload to be stopped. And they got the payload through the community coin car wash at the bottom there. But they didn't actually get it that close to the end of the checkpoint, which means Virginia Tech will have ample opportunity to continuously defend this.
I like the pulse bomb kill from Pufflegod, but I'm not a fan of it because he found a pulse bomb kill, pulse bomb's gone, and it was so late in the fight to where the Resurrect is now available again from the side of Wombo. So would have liked to see that combo up with something like maybe this Graviton Surge coming out from Unk in particular, but we do see Invis getting taken down early on here. Cake as well. They should be able to fly in and grab him with that Valkyrie, of course, as Graviton Surge is out. So is that Transcendence. He's going to be able to keep them nice and healthy. But up top here, there's the Earth Shatter coming through for the side of Cake. The cleanup crew is in the area here. They bring up Ellis, but there are so many people on the payload from the side of Virginia Tech. Nobody is dealing with this Ferret in the skies once again, as Photon showing us why he is at almost 4,300.
Photon is insane. How many direct rockets has he hit so far in the match? We're only 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. 90 seconds now remaining for Steven's offense, and they've barely gotten any distance so far, Joe. We expected them to be the underdogs before this match, but I honestly don't see it happening.
Well, they do have a Widowmaker coming out from Pufflegod. They're going to try their luck, see if they can get a little bit of that magic coming out from the kind of the threat from everywhere with the Widowmaker. It depends if he can get into a spot to which he can, take advantage of it in particular, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. With Stormrunner out of the fight, you can't really hope to make if with anybody out of the fight, you can't really hope to make a push at this point. And Biz now over to that Diva pick. Stevens can't seem, and this is kind of what I had mentioned earlier. I was a little worried about, they've got a lot of these picks, but they can't seem to find what works well for them into Virginia Tech.
Well, let's take a look at Game Chemist with that Graviton. I think they're going to go for a Graviton Barrage combo, and that could be icing on the cake. Flanking McCree is in big trouble because he has no support at all. Discord are already on him. Stevens have their last chance to attack now, and Vertigo with the attack visor, but he needs to make it massive if Stevens wants to continue this offense.
Has to count, but losing your Diva defense matrix so early on pretty much opens up anything for what Body and Photon want to do. They don't have to worry about him now. And with that in mind, Graviton Surge ready to go. Tactical Visor out from Vertigo. Can he find any targets? Looking for Zarya. Almost finds him. Graviton Surge is there, but no follow-up. Unfortunately, everyone was taken down. As I say that, the barrage comes through. So does Tactical Visor as they clean this one up. Nobody can find the 76, who is running desperately for his life here in the server room. Finds Puffle. Invis is now back up into the mix, into the back. He's going to be taken down here. And with that in mind, Virginia Tech make a dominant hold here at first point, watch point, Gibraltar. We talked about a lengthy map. Not going to be lengthy at all.
Not at all. You got 4 minutes to attack if you're the Virginia Tech Hokies. It's unlikely that they need that much time, to be completely honest. And from start to finish there, Photon's fire has been incredible.
It certainly has, man. I mean, I talked about him at the start that he's one of the people who actually, put out his actual most played hero, and he's actually playing it. We talked a lot about in the past, last week especially, about their most played heroes, and sometimes they didn't really come to the battlefield, but Photon himself, he has shown up massively for this team. This entire team has really, stuck together. We saw a lot of great plays as well from Jaylet on the Zenyatta in particular. I've been really impressed the fact he's been able to find a lot of that alternate fire. You hold down the right click and you unleash it. You're able to find a lot of those kills. Jaylet has been impressive to say the least for these guys as well. As Virginia Tech, they've got their work cut out for them a single team fight could do it, could win them the set right here.
It could indeed. Watch point Gibraltar. You saw that nice Spanish coast there. See whether or not Stevens will be taking an early vacation at the hands of Virginia Tech.
Kind of got to say, though, you remember, us talking about both these teams are 4-2. And a loss here would not look good for Stevens. Virginia Tech trying to keep themselves in the race for that top 10. Ultimately, that's what the teams want to do. Make the top 10, get into that regional mixer, and have an opportunity to face off against the other regions in particular. Yep. So that is what they're looking for right now in Virginia Tech. They've got one offensive push to push themselves to a 5-2 record.
We can definitively say if Virginia Tech takes the series, they'll be at least 13th, maybe even 11th or 12th place in their region. That being said, though, Stevens still has a chance to come back in this series, but it has to start with a very good defense here. They're going to risk it all on a Orisa Junkrat Widowmaker composition. If they get the headshot on the Discord on Photon, he'll go down pretty quickly, but he has been running riot so far in this series, and I honestly don't expect things to change.
Yeah, this is going to be a little difficult for them. I mean, they're trying for the oddball composition, maybe a little bit of that surprise factor, but if anything goes awry, it's game over. It's series over as well for them, so they really need to find some opening pigs. A lot of this is up to Unk and Pufflegod to, again, find the opening shots.
Okay.
And Pufflegod gets him mid-air with a little bit of help from Unk as well, I believe, who, finding an opening kill that's what it's all going to be about. Body for a little bit of a flank here, but Virginia Tech have so much time.
Oh, he's not. Yes, he used flashbang at the end there to secure the kill. Wombo got the res on the game chemist, so now Stevens at the man disadvantage. There's still a McCree flanking these guys. He's going for the high noon, gets a kill, and the Widowmaker's taken down as well. Body is bodying these guys.
What in, oh man, that was absolutely crazy coming out from him. Finds the Deadeye, immediately follows through with that kill onto the Widowmaker, and just like that, Virginia Tech are gonna solidify their hold here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. They will take the set 2-0 in a dominant fashion and move themselves up to a 5-2 record.
Game, set, match, 5-2 record. The Hokie Birds looking pretty good so far as we have 3 more rounds of the regional Swiss phase in the East region. And for Stevens Institute, I mean, unfortunately, they had some good moments there, but we're not entirely sure. Right now, all we can say is that their destiny really isn't in their hands in terms of qualifying for that regional mixer.
Yeah, they're going to have to get a lot of help. They would have to hope for quite a few teams to fall to 3 losses, and that's assuming they're able to win their next, the remaining matches. So not the best look for them in particular, but for the winning team, for Virginia Tech, they have a fighting chance right now at 5-2. There certainly should be some teams in that top 10 that have a couple of losses. They might need a little help in doing so, but they will still need to try to win out if they want to make that top 10.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what exactly the Tech guys have to say, as we will have an interview with the team in just a couple of moments. And very specifically speaking, they have 4 players on their team whose names start with J, 2 players named Alex. I want to know where they got that kind of synergy.
Couldn't tell you, man.
Maybe they made tryouts like you could only apply to this team if your name starts with a J or your name is Alex.
I honestly couldn't tell you. What kind of surprised me here is that Game Chemist was actually the one with the lowest SR for this team. He was actually sub 3K, but it looks like we do have Body, the Genji main, the Genji player, ready to talk to us about that last game. How are you doing, man? How are you feeling after that dominant victory there on Watchpoint Gibraltar?
Feeling great. How you doing?
Doing pretty well myself. Tell me a little bit about that Genji play, man. I mean, you were unstoppable. You didn't look like you weren't fearing those guys whatsoever on the Genji.
So yeah, I mean, I play a lot of Genji, so our pretty much strategy as a team is just play whatever heroes we play best. So playing Genji into that Reaper was kind of a little scary on Ilios, but we pulled through with the win, and I'm really proud of our team.
Yeah, so Body, the Watchpoint Gibraltar McCree flank was a high-risk play that had an absolutely fantastic reward. Talk to me about, like, how do you go for those kinds of plays? Is that a set play, or just in the heat of the moment you think, guys, I'm going to do this, this is a good idea?
That's a heat of the moment play. Honestly, just felt really confident in that flank. I knew they weren't really seeing it coming. I got lucky with the high noon, I gotta say, but hit those shots and pulled through with the win.
Fair enough. Now, this is going to be a very serious question. Please prepare yourself. Alex, you've got 2 players on your team named Alex and 4 other players whose names start with J. That's some synergy right there. For tryouts, did you guys say, like, okay, you can only, try out for the team if you're such and such? Did you guys just happen
Of
to meet
course.
each other? Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
no, that's
There
exactly what. No,
there we go. The
I'm just kidding.
conspiracy theory was correct. Vindicated.
It's a match made in heaven. That's all I gotta say.
Perfect. Well, congratulations on your win. Do you have any shout outs to fans, friends, family, Twitch chat that you'd like to say as we wish you the best
I'd
of
like
luck?
to shout out my whole team. They've been great. We've been practicing a lot, and they're just putting in the work. I'd like to shout out my girlfriend Emma. She puts up with me playing way too much of Overwatch. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations, Alex, aka Body. You guys are 5-2, sitting pretty. Can definitely still qualify. Best of luck in your next few matches.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, there you go, Virginia Tech and Body. See all the Overwatch paraphernalia he had?
Dude, that's what I was about to say. Did you see the loot box? That
Yeah,
was really cool. I mean,
that's so
I
cool.
like the little statues and whatnot, but the actual loot box, like, where can I get one of those?
They're a secret. You gotta
do
level up
something.
in Overwatch, or pay a couple $.
All right, let's take a look at the schedule, what we have coming your way for the rest of the evening. We've got Western up against Carleton in the in the northern region as we head back to that one. Then to round out the day, we're going to be finishing off with another battle of the undefeateds at the top. It's going to be Rutgers up against NJIT.
Yeah, so that match is going to be crazy. Ontario Clash coming up next, though. It's going to start on Ilios again. I mean, we've already seen the North Battle a couple times. It's been pretty sparky for such a cold region. However, whether or not the sparks will continue to fly, we'll find out in just a couple minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. The Tespa Collegiate Series will be right back.
Going to pretty much be his signal to unleash the beast within, but no, it's the Dragon Blade out from Body. He finds a double, looking to get into the back, looking to get dirty and find some more.
Still on the board here, Virginia Tech has more heroes on the spawn. Here comes the Vertigo. There's the Graviton Surge. It's actually a pretty big one, Joe.
Is the follow-up there? The Death Blossom Pufflegod, actually finds 2 for himself. Make that 3. His Game Chemist gets taken out. Blades out, looking to get behind that Zarya shield, but he feeds him up so much. Oh man, the Graviton Surge is out from him. Vertigo, he nearly reflected that one, but not quite going to be the case here as Stevens battling their way back here onto and look to keep him alive, but there's a barrage in the back. Photon able to find 2 for himself up top off of a nice Earthshatter as well. Cake able to set that one up and make sure Photon needs to get it ASAP. Otherwise, that pick onto Sober means absolutely nothing. Dragon Blade is out from Body. He finds one looking for Widowmaker here in the back. Zenyatta gonna catch. Sun has been tearing them up in the skies. A barrage already coming down from this guy. Finds 2 as Body able to connect there with the Helix onto Ellis McGruber. They are now. And with that in mind, Graviton Surge ready to go. Tactical Visor out from Vertigo. Can he find any targets? Looking for Zarya. Almost finds him. Graviton Surge is there, but no follow-up. Unfortunately, everyone was taken down. As I say that, the barrage comes.
My name is Kevin, and I'm a community manager for Tespa. Speaking from experience, playing in college as a college esports athlete is one of the coolest experiences you can have. And one thing that we provide here at Tespa is a safe environment where you can team up, play with your friends in college, and get a chance to compete on the big stage for real scholarship prizing. One thing that we're committed to for all of our Tespa Compete tournaments is maintaining an environment where students are encouraged to balance their work life and their play life. We maintain a strict GPA average for all of our high-level competitive tournaments, but we also provide tournaments where there aren't stringent requirements and where you can play just for fun with your friends and practice for these competitive leagues. So whether you want to become a high-level player or you're just here to practice with friends, there's a place for you to play. To any student who's interested in working in the gaming industry in the future, working with Tespa as a regional coordinator or a member of our creative team or a tournament admin or even an intern is one of the best practical experiences that you can have while you're in college, especially for our chapter leaders or competitors who put a lot of their time in college into supporting their local on-the-ground communities or supporting the collegiate esports scene in general. We want to give them opportunities to take those experiences and apply them to all of our chapters as a regional coordinator, or to apply the technical skills they learned making designs for their club to making designs for all the chapters in North America. So I'd like to say that it's probably one of the best experiences that you can have, and especially now in the gaming industry when it's honestly pretty confusing how to get your foot in the door or how to land your first job, or even like what kind of skills you need to get a job working at huge gaming companies that a lot of students look up to. These are one of the easiest ways to just get that first step, to take that first experience and learn more about what it actually means to work in the gaming industry and how it feels to work on a team that is really focused on building a community and making things better for students. I know that for me, as a former chapter leader, working with Tespa has been an absolute dream come true. As a chapter leader, you learn to put your community before yourself. You learn to work countless hours, building events for your community and working with your officers to do really cool things on your campus. So for me, now that I'm working here as a community manager for Tespa, I get to do the same thing except for all the college clubs in North America. And I get to work with chapter leaders on a regular basis that really inspire me, that have the same, youthful gamer passion that all of us kind of have while we're in college as like a competitor or a leader or even just like a gamer on campus. And teach them, how to take that and apply it to their school or to get a job or to become an incredible competitor and win scholarship prizes for yourself and your team. So honestly, I couldn't think of a better thing that I'd rather be doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tespa Collegiate Series. Seamoose and Storm here, aka the Sea Storm, with our next match of the night.
When did you come up with that one, man?
I came up with it a long time ago, and I was just waiting to say
Oh, man.
it sounds so good.
It actually does sound pretty cool, but to the matches, we've got Western up against Carleton. Both these teams sitting at a 5-1 record in the northern region. So, definitely looking to come out and stick in the top 3, top 5 in the standings.
Yeah, 5-1. An X-1 record is very likely going to get you into that regional playoff. Taking a look at the North region standings, you can see all those regions up there. Toronto, Michigan State. We actually just saw Michigan State go down to Toronto earlier in the evening. But like you mentioned, 5-1 records, we see both Carlton and Western on the board there. So this is going to be a very important match.
And knowing that you have a loss and you're still at number 3, you're still tied for number 3, means a lot into trying to make the top 10, even if you lose a game. Because a lot of those teams are going to end up losing another game. They're not all going to sit 5-1 because they play each other, obviously, in the Swiss format. So with that in mind, losing here today for either Western or Carlton isn't the end of the world, isn't the end of the run to try to make it to that regional mixer. But with that in mind, they want to cement themselves as one of the top teams, and they would certainly stick within the top 5 if they're able to keep it, get another victory.
With that in mind, let's take a look at Western University. They played last year in the TCS. They weren't able to qualify for the playoffs, and they are definitely the underdogs in this match. That being said, though, anything possible here as UWO, Tubby Toad, their captain, is a Tracer main. We've got Arim, who plays Genji, Punch, the Zenyatta main. I'm guessing that's just Gazebko, Japantes, nice one, and Michelle.
Why can't they all just be like Michelle? Like super easy, super
Robert,
simple. Let's take
Michelle,
a look at Carlton, though. See what they have heading our way. We've got Poster Boy. He is the team captain for this squad. We've got Kip, Steez, Jack Lorf, Usagi, and Zebratron. All right, I like it, man. I like it. Super easy.
It's also pretty funny that the criminology major has their most played hero as Sombra. So you can see the hacking there.
A little bit of a hacking, a little bit of a mischief. We'll see.